Hello everybody, I have today decided that I am going to be taking, indeed, a new oath. This oath is going to last me for the rest of my life, and you may be wondering,
well, Fraser, what is this oath?
Well, I've decided that I'm no longer going to be paying taxes. Like most YouTubers, to be fair, but it's just recently I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers seem to commit a lot of crimes, yet they seem to never go to jail, so I'm thinking maybe I take advantage of this, like a lot of YouTubers take advantage of the vulnerable. Now, I would like to confirm to HMRC that I am indeed going to be paying my tax. I have already paid my taxes. I'd just like to clarify that. Please do not put me in a jail cell. But I do actually believe that if I committed tax fraud, there is a more likely chance that I would go to jail than James Charles. And in fact, I would like you to comment, who's more likely to go to jail, James or Fraser? Let me know below, like the video, and subscribe, because I'm trying to hit 1 million subs by the end of the summer, and I have not been uploading consistently enough.
First and foremost, I need to say sorry.
Hello my beautiful dumplings, welcome back to another video. It has been a little bit of a long time and I am very sorry for that, but today I kind of want to do a little bit of a follow-up on my previous James Charles video, but also discuss the topic of why is it a thing, I can't speak English. Why is it a thing that YouTubers can commit serious crimes but never actually seem to go to jail? Now, I understand there are some rare occurrences where a YouTuber may go to jail, but I think for the most part we all kind of know that if a YouTuber commits a very serious crime, which I'm not going to say because I don't want this video to get striked, they're probably not going to go to jail. Why is that? Take Red Kiwis, for example, a YouTuber who has admitted to serious crimes multiple times, but is still uploading Fortnite content. Now, I would say that that itself is also a felony, but yes, he admitted to doing a lot of terrible things and is somehow still making money on this platform, I believe, at least having a presence on this platform, and you do just have to wonder, how? And that again moves us on to Jimbo Charlie. Now, obviously, I think at this point we all know that James Charles has been involved in a million scandals at this point, but the one that happened in 2021 was a little bit different. I wouldn't say it was a scandal, I'd say a serious crime had been admitted to, and this guy didn't go to jail. Now, since then, a lot of things has happened. A lot of companies have pulled out from working with him, a lot of people have distanced from him, some people have remained friends with him. No, Beck, what is wrong with you, mate? And we'll get on to all of that. But the main thing I want to go over is the debacle of will James Charles actually face any legal repercussions? And the easy answer for that is no. No? No, he won't. He'll continue living in his $1 million mansion with his millions of dollars, and in fact, the people that may be facing repercussions are actually the people that spoke about his own crimes. Yeah.
First and foremost, I need to say sorry. I owe a massive apology to anybody that I've hurt or anybody that I've made uncomfortable with my actions. And I also want to say I'm sorry to my friends, family, and fans that have to watch another one of these videos, because you shouldn't have to, and this is really, really embarrassing.
Now, originally, this apology came out, and for some reason, it got a nice reception. A lot of people were being like,
Oh, it's just a little mistake. You know, he only messaged a 16-year-old when he's in his 20s.
yeah, that happened, and then eventually people, you know, they drank their water, they had a little nap, and they grew some brain cells, and they decided,
oh wait, yeah, this is actually a really bad thing, and he has actually admitted to it in this video.
and James has clearly acknowledged that most people are now against him, and he came out with a good old PR statement where he said that he's, you know, suing many people, curators, and news outlets. And I've got a lot of opinions about this. I saw this and I thought, well, am I being sued today? Apparently not. Thank the Lord. A creator has tried to sue me in the past. Can you guess who? Comment below. That ruined my birthday. But yes, James Charles is suing people in the case of false allegations, because whilst there are things that James has admitted to, there have, which I have spoken about previously, been a lot of fake stories floating around on the internet, and yes, this is a problem for multiple reasons. And I think the most obvious one is because if you create a fake story, a fake allegation, and you put it out there when real allegations are floating around of being admitted to, it really, to some people, only discredits the real victim stories. So if you're thinking about you want to make a funny meme or you want to try and get some attention by making a fake story about James Charles, please don't. Just please don't. And if you see these stories and you are going to report on them, please actually do the research into them before you report them. I genuinely cannot express to you the damage that these fake stories, when real situations are happening, will do to these real situations. It is genuinely embarrassing that people have still tried to spread false information when there really is enough real information to send this guy to jail. This guy has admitted to terrible things. Let's focus on these terrible things. Let's stop spreading any forms of bollocks. Thank you very much. That is my TED Talk, I think.
Hi, sisters!
I mean, I know a lot of people have said that James Charles' career is dead, but putting him in Resident Evil, I feel that's a step too far.
You've ruined everything!
Okay, I do just want to make an apology to Resident Evil fans. I know she's a big, lovely woman, and she definitely is not James Charles. She's very big. I'm thinking things, but we're not going to talk about them. We will talk about them on twitch.tv/inabber, where I will be streaming that game. You should come and stop by. But yes, we've fallen off track here because of a big, lovely woman that definitely isn't James Charles. Definitely isn't James Charles, but let's continue. So moving back onto the topic of false stories about James Charles, another reason that these are extremely damaging is because James will take these false stories, put the real ones aside, and use them to paint him in a better light. Just take a look at his apology video. At the very beginning of that video, he mentions the situation with Jeffree star Tati Westbrook and Shane Dawson, of where he said that he deflected the allegations in the past, but he's not going to be including it, guys, despite he mentioned it. The only reason he has done that is an attempt, in my opinion, to discredit the current allegations by saying, hey guys, there have been previous false allegations against me. He has done this on purpose and to, in my opinion, manipulate his audience.
Hello everyone, James Charles here, and today I'm going to be making a very important video about a very important topic. As many of you guys know, about 2 years ago now, I was involved with a very public online scandal in which some fellow YouTubers made some very serious accusations against me, and within the past couple of weeks, similar accusations are being made again, and I think it's very important that I get on camera and talk to you guys honestly about what is going on. When this first happened 2 years ago, I uploaded a video to my channel called No More Lies, and that video was a very planned video. It focused on receipts and screenshots and defending myself in the situation, but I want you guys to know that this video that I'm going to be making today is going to be nothing like No More Lies.
Now, in my opinion, there is no reason to mention No More Lies in this video other than to discredit current allegations by mentioning predecessing false ones. I know he says it's not going to be like that video, but then why mention it? There was no need unless you're trying to get it into your fans' heads, trying to remind them that there have been previous situations in which he has won. And I believe that his fans will do the exact same and discredit the very real stories out there about him and use the phrase, oh, this whole thing's been overblown and people are making things up left, right and centre, and then people will try and use that to move away from the situation and continue supporting James Charles. And we will move into that later on this video with, as I mentioned previously, Beck, who has claimed he is still friends with James Charles, which is pretty weird, but yeah, we'll get into it. But I do want to say, just because there are a few false allegations out there about James Charles, it does, in the grand scale of things, not matter. There could be 1 million false allegations about James Charles, but if there is one very real allegation, those 1 million allegations no longer matter in my head. I'm going to focus on that one very real thing that James Charles admitted to.
Later on, found out that they were actually 16.
I'm going to focus on that one allegation. These now terrible 1 million false allegations get pushed to the side because you have actually admitted to committing a crime. So I'm going to focus on that allegation and not even listen to the So let's put the false stuff in the bin, let's ignore that, and let's focus on the apology video. Let's focus on the things James has admitted to, and let's focus on the question of why has James Charles not faced any legal repercussions? Because recently James Charles was actually caught on camera laughing, smiling, and having a good time. You know, having a good time after all these allegations, because as I said earlier, he does have $1 million mansion and millions of dollars. So if you're worried about James Charles going homeless or anything, don't. He's perfectly fine for life. Do you know what's genuinely disturbing here is that James Charles visibly looks more happy than most of us. Like, I'm laughing right now, but I'm in severe pain. Please help. So to answer the previous question, I think we all know that it all comes down to money and power. Most of these popular influencers have millions or tens or maybe some cases even $100 million in the bank. They've got lots of powerful lawyers, lots of powerful friends, lots of powerful connections. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't necessarily a YouTube thing. In fact, I'd say most influencers are pretty nice people. I would say this is more of a Hollywood thing. Because in Hollywood, there have been so many people in the past that have gone in the way with committing the worst possible crimes in Hollywood for years. And that is because they are in a significant high position of power, have money and influence, as does James Charles. I do not believe that this man is going to enter a jail cell for 1 second in his life unless it's for some of his makeup looks, because I just think he has way too many connections and way too much money. And I do believe that we need to start having more public discourse about this, because it's genuinely disturbing and concerning to me that people on this app, people in Hollywood, can just commit serious crimes and continue to get away with it and can continue to do what they do. I've seen a lot of people being like, oh, are you not worried about him? No, I'm not. Why would I be worried about him? He's in a mansion, he's got millions of dollars, and yes, he's been dropped by a few brands, but who cares? If he hasn't earned more than $10 million up to this point, that's his own fault, given all of the connections and support he's had in the last 5 years. But also, hot take, I don't think he deserves the mansion. I don't think he deserves the millions of dollars because of his constant abuse of power.
We got a #1 victory royale, yeah, Fortnite, we about to get...
Okay, I think we can come to a conclusion to part 1 of this video. The topic of him going to jail is actually pretty simple. It just comes down to money and power, which have been the two main things that have allowed people to get away with things for thousands and thousands of years. From YouTubers to, I don't know, Roman emperors. Did I just compare James Charles to a Roman emperor? Apparently so. We've gone to a weird place on this channel, but that does kind of end the first part of this video, and now we move on to the second part. Who's dropped James Charles, who hasn't, and what's going on with his show, Instant Influencer.
A tough day for me that's just bringing up a lot of emotions. I'm sure you guys all remember a year ago today, it's officially my scandalversary. Woo!
That didn't age well. So, what's been happening? Well, firstly, YouTube have actually come out and said, hey James Charles, we don't appreciate what you've been up to in your private stinky time. So for one, YouTube have actually removed him from his own show, Instant Influencer, and placed in another content creator to take the rounds of the show. James Charles replaced as host of YouTube series Instant Influencer by sisters. I've definitely not heard that one a million times before. Please, say it again. For the billionth time. By sisters, beauty YouTuber James Charles will not be returning to host the second season of YouTuber's reality competition series, Instant Influencer. A YouTube representative confirmed that James Charles is no longer hosting, but declined to share why. I mean, do they really need to say why? I feel like it's extremely obvious why James Charles is no longer hosting that show, and YouTube just cannot be asked for some possible legal discourse with James Charles. I don't blame them for not saying, because it's just not worth the effort. They've cut him off. That's that, and I think we can all come to our own conclusions here. But also, YouTube have actually suspended monetization on his YouTube channel, and he has also been dropped by Morphe or Morph. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I don't actually care. So basically, a lot of advertising companies, YouTube themselves, just in general everyone, have collectively, rightly so, come together and said, Jimbo, You've probably gone too far this time. You've committed a felony, and for brand purposes, we don't really want to be associated with that anymore. And I usually say, oh no, YouTubers and brands losing bad. No, but it's a bit different here, people. We can't complain about brands ditching YouTubers because we've demanded that to happen. We can't complain about that in this situation. This isn't, Pokimane. This is James Charles. He's committed a crime. It's not YouTube drama. Like, as much as I make jokes to make this feel a little bit more comfortable to present, he has committed serious crimes.
In case anybody isn't aware of what's going on, within the past couple of weeks, 2 different people, both under the age of 18, have recently come forward saying that they had inappropriate messages with me on social media. One of them being from last year and one of them being from more recent. In both of these cases, I added these people on Snapchat.
Bearing in mind, the person had 16 years old in their bio, and they also looked 16, 15 years old. They weren't 15, but they looked extremely young. So moving on.
Scandalversary, woo!
So moving on to the question of why are influencers still staying friends with this guy? Because I'd like to know. During the beginning of the whole James Charles controversy, Noah Beck was asked, how is James Charles holding up? And he said, I love James Charles. And okay, it was at the beginning of the controversy. TikTokers, they don't exactly have many brain cells. He's probably, and hopefully, changed his opinion since.
On a serious note though, one of your best friends, James Charles, are you guys still friends? Have you been have you been hanging out with them, or what's going on?
No, we haven't been hanging out as much, but we're still great friends. Like, despite I'm here for him, whatever he goes through, I mean, it's part of being a friend, you know?
Right.
I hope if something were to happen like that with me, like, I would hope he'd be there for me.
Yeah, but not messaging kids. It's not messaging kids. No. Neighbours, if you can hear this, I'm sorry, but not messaging kids. I think that's off the table. Like, not even the table, not even the coffee table. It's in the bin. It's completely in the bin. Noah, he had 16 years old in his bio, and even if he didn't, Jimbo is a multi-million-dollar influencer. I think you can afford to ask somebody for some form of proof of ID. I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I really hope that James Charles will do the exact same thing for me, dude. Yeah, dude, I'm American.
I mean, what is this? Predators in paradise? Now, I do just want to clarify that Noah Beck has not done anything bad. The predator I'm talking about is obviously James Charles, but it's a little bit weird that he gets his paradise in LA surrounded by his friends, despite all the terrible things that he has done. And look, I'll try and be fair here, despite it's an absolutely insane argument that Noah Beck has made. He was friends with James before this, and I think it cannot be easy to see somebody you're close friends with be outed for some horrific crimes. But I think that is actually a topic of conversation that people are starting to have, because there is a thing where people just cannot imagine that their friends could actually commit serious crimes, and they kind of just ignore it in their mind and move away from that. And that's not a justification. You are allowing your friend to get away with things by doing that. You need to acknowledge that the sad reality is that humans can do horrific things, and I think we need to open our minds to the conversation that anybody can commit a crime, and if you see your friend commit a crime, you need to accept that, acknowledge that, and if it's something even close to what James Charles did, I think it is your human rights to disassociate with them. Not say you're friends with them. not say you love them, to separate yourselves because they have committed an inhumane act.
James Charles, are you guys still friends? Have you been?
Yeah.
This is exactly how James is getting away with these things. Like, yeah, there are all of these consequences that have happened financially, and yes, he is in an ongoing lawsuit from an ex-employee of allegations of failure to pay all wages and allegedly no minimum wage compensation and stuff like that. But the reality is, that doesn't matter. He still has tens of millions of dollars and a mansion in LA and probably other mansions too. He's still rich, he's still got power because people like Noah Beck are inadvertently, or not even inadvertently, just simply are enabling his behavior by even publicly admitting to still being friends with him and saying that he's going to come back. By an influencer telling people that this bad guy is still friends with them, his young and impressionable fans are going to eat that up and take it in and think, oh, maybe James actually isn't that bad because this influencer that I really like has chosen to remain friends with him. Young people see that, and they eat it up, and they take it in, and they'll have their opinions clouded from facts. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is, and it's incredibly irresponsible that Noah Beck has actually made this statement and said it. So I would hope that if he actually has a heart and a brain, he would come out and say, yes, I'm sorry, that was stupid of me. Because if he did that, I'd actually have respect for him. So to conclude all of this, is James Charles going to go to jail? No. Is he losing money at a fast rate? Yes. But is this the end of Jimbo Charlie? No. Mainly because people are still standing by him and remaining his friend.
I hope if something were to happen like that with me, I would hope he'd be there for me.
It's a crazy old world we live in. It's a messed up old world, and sounds like I'm making some American Horror Story Season 1 quote here, but I'm not. I've just been watching it recently, and it's good. It's good. But that is the end of the video, by the way. Yes, I have been away for a while. I'm sweating, and I think that I just want to say thank you so much for coming along to this video. If I seem like a mess in this video, it's because I've been away and I'm not used to being back creating content, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the channel, please drop a like for my sweaty face right now. Please subscribe, and please follow my Twitter account at inabber69. But I do just want to say, I am actually starting a show soon. I cannot give any details yet, but it's going to be beginning this month, hopefully, and we are going to be raising money for charity in a live stream on our first episode, so you will see that coming soon, hopefully. But also, I am streaming on Twitch regularly at the moment, twitch.tv/inabber, so if you want to go over there, please follow me. I talk on there about random stuff, personal things, politics, video games, all that good stuff. It's another side to me over there, so I'd appreciate it if you went and checked that out and followed me. I may be live later, and also, you know, Instagram's there and Twitter and everything else is there. But thank you so much for coming along. Please, please tell your friends about this video, because there are people still supporting Jimbo, and I don't think that's a good thing. Thank you for coming along, and I'll see you maybe tomorrow? Who knows? Bye-bye. Have a good day.